Trump, meanwhile, he was in Michigan yesterday where he continued to spread lies about the Biden administration's response to the hurricane while bragging about how he handled disasters when he was president. After falsely claiming earlier in the week that President Biden was ignoring calls from Georgia's Republican governor, Trump told his supporters the White House has no money to spend on disaster relief because it's all being spent on illegal immigrants.
We had the best 4 years with hurricanes. We took care of people. Now we have a horrific disaster in North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and Virginia. That's how big this hurricane was. And the Harris-Biden administration says they don't have any money. They've spent it all on, they spent all of their money. They have almost no money because they spent it all on illegal migrants. They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them this season.
There is, of course, no evidence to support Trump's claims. That's not stopping some on the right from spreading them, including Elon Musk. And in terms of his own record, 2 former White House aides are telling Politico that on at least 3 occasions when Trump was president, he had to be convinced to approve disaster aid for states led by Democrats. Walter, you, of course, very familiar with the aftermath of a major hurricane, Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans in 2005. It's scenes of devastation there. Certainly, there's fears that things are going to get worse before they get better in terms, and certainly fears about the death total. But then to politicize this, though not surprising, I suppose, from Trump, but just flat out lying.
You know, I can remember even back to Hurricane Betsy when, Lyndon Johnson, people came in, and it was never really politicized. And now you're seeing anything that happens in our society get instantly politicized and connected to the hot button issues like immigrants. Okay, there's a hurricane, people have drowned, let's connect it to there's too much immigration. And it gets spread on social media. As you say, Elon Musk spreads that meme that, okay, we have so many immigrants, we've spent the money, so we can't do it on FEMA. It's a type of thing that isn't really what America is about.
Yeah, but Molly, sadly, it is what the Republican Party is more and more these days. How do the Democrats push back on this? I just saw, actually, just a few moments ago, FEMA's launched a fact-checking website just to show the sort of work that they're doing and the money they're spending because of this storm. But how does something like that break through?
So I think it's important to realize that Donald Trump is doing this on purpose, right? This is from the autocrat playbook, right? The idea is that they're getting your stuff. You need to push back against immigrants because they're getting your stuff. And again, this is because Donald Trump has an election and he wants to turn out these low propensity voters, these 1s and 2s. He wants to say to them, you have to come out because I am defending, it's a very autocratic kind of thing. So I think that that's what we're seeing. I think that obviously it's not true. And then, of course, with Trump, there's always projection, is always part of it. And that's what you're seeing with his response to the wildfires in California, that there's a certain amount of projection happening.
But I also think you're seeing voters, some undecided voters, especially the people I talk to on Wall Street, breathe somewhat of a sigh of relief, right? Because there was all this talk, I don't know Kamala Harris well enough. I don't know what she's capable of. I don't know if she can get things done, right? So look at, we just mentioned it a moment ago, the port strike, her involvement. Look at you watching the federal response to this hurricane. Kamala Harris left Las Vegas and went to Washington, and you see the president working on this. So this idea that, like, I don't really know her, I don't know what she can do, this isn't about what she's promising, it's what she's showing. I do want to ask Walter, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, what is your take, right? You wrote the most extraordinary book on Elon Musk. Elon Musk has gone more than all in on Donald Trump and even gone as far as pushing a lot of the false narratives. He's going to go to Donald Trump's rally in the next day or so. Where do you think this comes from?
I think he actually is fervently on a mission, and he really is not in his economic interest. You can totally disagree with him, but he's going to Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow to support Donald Trump.
How is it not in his economic interest?
How's it not?
Destroying the value of
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's helping Tesla sales. I don't think it's helping.
But if Trump gets reelected, he'll have a huge job in the ad man.
Not an official job.
No, I don't think.
No,
think
official
he's-
job.
Right, you wanna
He'll get to be a shadow
But
president.
seriously, Molly, do you think he's doing this because he wants a job in the Trump administration?
I think.
Is that what you believe?
No.
No.
I definitely don't think he wants a job in the Trump administration.
but
I think someone who has extraordinary power like Elon Musk does, wouldn't it be incredible to have a bat phone into the White House to get whatever you want of regulations?
what
Right?
he
The
thinks
most
he's
important
gonna
thing
get.
that's going to happen in the next 5 years is AI regulation.
Yep.
And Elon Musk has a huge interest in that. And wouldn't it be amazing to have a lot of control over a president during that time?
And no regulation, right? Trump hates regulation, so he can. They won't.
I'm sorry. I feel like we're making Walter defend him, and I totally didn't mean that. Yeah.
Well, I think Molly's right that he has a resistance to regulation, whether it's the FAA not allowing Starship up on a regular basis, or whether, the different types of regulation that came with COVID, which really turned him from being a supporter of Obama, a supporter of Hillary. And so regulation is one of the hot button issues for him. I do think, though, that he actually strongly believes that we're an over-regulated, over-bureaucratized society. When he got to Twitter, he cut 85% of the workforce. If Trump were to put him, and by the way, everybody thought Twitter would not exist afterwards.
Still does.
It still exists. So it is a complicated thing where he, all throughout his workforce is always cutting and somehow remains standing at the end. He would love to do that to the federal bureaucracy. And a
lot of Americans, in theory, would agree.
Like that idea.
Correct.
And as Walter said, Musk is going to Donald Trump's rally this weekend, held at the exact same site of that assassination attempt in Butler County, Pennsylvania, that happened over the summer. Stephanie Ruhle, thank you so much. We'll be watching the 11th hour tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern right here on MSNBC. Everybody else, stay